scared of the future, and I hate my past. Present hurts too much, but I know it won't last. No, it won't last.
Welcome to Men Talk. I'm your host, Dakota, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey. Here at Men Talk, we dive deep into the often overlooked world of men's mental health, exploring topics that matter to you. From personal stories to insightful guest interviews, we'll cover everything from anxiety, depression, and PTSD. My mission, to break the stigma and promote mental wellness one conversation at a time. Let's embark on this journey together and start making a difference.
I've got a brain that wants me dead. I've got a woman that wants me in bed, and I'm somewhere in between, trying not to blow my brains out.
Yep, welcome to Men Talk. Just roll it.
Here we go, just welcome to Men Talk.
You want me to do it?
No, fuck you. All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to this episode of Men Talk. I have a good buddy of mine here with me today, Ben Nichols. I've known him for a long time, and it's kind of funny because like the last episode that I just released with Dakota, everybody has been messaging me about this and like, where's this episode with Ben? Where's this episode with Ben at? Well, guys, we already recorded this one time. I fucking hated it. And it wasn't that it was bad. It was like I couldn't give Ben the amount of time that he deserved. And I was jacked up on caffeine. I didn't sleep good, all this good stuff. And like I had drank like 3 energy drinks or something like that. And so like I was really wired and jittery, plus nervous, was kind of odd, you know. But everybody's been asking for this episode, like, where's Ben? Am I lost? Have I missed an episode or anything like that? No, you haven't missed an episode by any means. We're doing it here because I did not like it. It was just a bunch of random off-the-wall questions, like, on my end, and random things that we really talked about because, like, honestly, like, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea what we was going to do.
Well, and also, too, man, like, that was my brother's birthday, and I found out about some dinner plans that I didn't know about. We were on a time crunch, and you know, like, for what it was, man, I thought it was awesome. I'm happy to be back here again.
Yeah, it was just rushed. You know, I felt like we were rushed in general because, like, I feel like we could talk for, like...
Oh, we can.
Yeah,
Bro,
you know, it's kind of wild that we could sit here and just talk, like, for hours. We've been talking for, like, the last, like, 15 minutes about just the randomest crap, guys.
People been asking about this episode, bro.
They have.
Why?
They're like, where's Ben? Like, did I miss an episode? I was like, no, you did not miss an episode. I was like, man, I promise you did not miss one.
Well, man, no pressure. I hope I don't let nobody down, man.
Yeah, so I mentioned a little bit about like what we talked about because me and Dakota just recorded the podcast like right after ours because we had a little bit more time. So we sit here for like another hour and a half recording a podcast or whatever, and we didn't get home till like late that night. Well, so we recorded that. I released it, and then I was listening to Ben, like mine and yours, and I was like, well, I just don't know if I don't feel confident enough to release it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's not that it wasn't good. It's not that it wasn't good or anything. It was just a lot of stuff. Like you could see like me fidgeting and me moving around and like being nervous and stuff like that and like very antsy.
Caffeine's a hell of a drug, man.
It is, dude. And I was just like, well, I don't know if I really want to put that out there, you know?
That's cool.
And so in the last episode that you guys listened to, I spoke what like me and Ben had covered just a little bit, not crazy amounts of stuff, but we really spoke about the word balance. Balance in life in general and trying to balance everything. And now, you know, I kind of have my own little slogan that, you know, old Benjamin Nichols over here kind of helped me out with.
Oh, yeah?
You know, make it hard.
Yeah.
You know, make it hard. That is a good thing to go after. And I think that's what, honestly, a lot of us continue to do with one another is make it hard, you know, and like we make it hard on ourselves and make it hard in life. And I think that's the problem that like either one of us have, like anybody really has, not either one of us, but anybody has to like really actually cope with making it hard. You know, like we make things hard on ourselves, but then it's like, how do we handle that pressure? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so I think that's a good thing to start off with is making life hard or making it hard. And then we're going to speak about balance today, dude. Like balance of life and being fathers and like where we've came from. And enough about this intro and everything that I kind of screwed up last week. And stuff like that. So, you know, we're going to go ahead and fully get into this thing, guys. So, Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you, dude?
Man, and that's such a beautiful question. I'm going to get all deep I'm going to get deep as hell right on that first one. Nah, man. I'm Benjamin Scott Nichols. I'm 27 years old, born and raised in Mayberry, North Carolina. Father of 2 beautiful children, owner of a small business. Do a lot of merchandising and social media for a band that I tour with. I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit. But
What's the name of your business?
Sleeper Sweepers LLC.
Don't sleep on us. Is that what it is?
Don't sleep on us, baby.
Yeah.
And I mean, what that is we're a residential. Well, excuse me, we're no longer a residential service provider. We are strictly a commercial cleaning interior service provider. So that's kind of a dirty hustle that I wanted to jump into because, I mean, given my upbringing, like, bro, I was scrubbing baseboards when I was like 7 years old before soccer games. Like, my dad, we're German descent, German Irish actually. So I mean, you know, like got a lot of vices, you know, whatever.
You're pretty fucked up, dude.
Yeah. But Germans are very clean people, and so Saturday mornings before we go out for our soccer games, Dad we'd be cleaning the house. I'd be scrubbing baseboards and stuff. So the decision that I made to go into business for myself, we'll get to that whenever we go through my evolution as a person. But started cleaning my house one morning, and I was like, man, I would love to take my kids to the park right now or do something with my family. I would literally pay somebody to come clean my house. Then I'm scrubbing, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude, I can be the one getting paid. I was like, oh. And then, you know, so we got here and then phased our way out of residential services. So, I mean, we service any commercial property, interior sanitation need-wise. So, I mean, offices, doctors' offices, dentistries, daycares, anything you can think of with an office front, interior parties, post cleanup, things like that. If it's on the inside of an actual building, we will clean it.
Dang, get that little ad in here, dude.
No, you know,
That's a good thing, man. I'm glad to actually see the growth and like hear about the growth. And you know, really seeing everything that you've kind of been up with or like started with. Like how did that all start out? You know, how was it really starting this business? You know, man. Like I know it's really been a struggle, and like since me and you've known each other, and like hearing since you started this business, it started out not too good, and then now you've kind of like, you know, kind of expanded and tried to grow it as much as you physically can and keep growing it. That's a great thing. So
well, and it's all about choosing your hard. You know, that's really what it's coming down to is, you know, everything that we do in life is hard.
Yeah.
You know, and whatever you choose to do, you should never choose to do the easy way out. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But starting this business, I was really motivated by you and another one of our entrepreneurial friends, Dustin. I was really, really inspired by a lot of people that were close to me, and I was reading a lot of motivational and self-help books. And I knew for about 2-3 years prior to actually starting this that I wanted to work for myself one day.
Yeah.
I just never knew like how that was going to happen, and I was always trying to come up with something. And then I had that light bulb moment when I was cleaning my house, and I was like, dude, that's it. Like, do it.
It just clicked and
just do it.
You started doing it.
So, I mean, everything that I did professionally before starting my business, that was also a big motivating factor. Because, I mean, dude, I'm 27 right now, and I've probably had more jobs than most 40-year-old men. Like, I mean,
you really have you've really done a lot. You have done a lot.
And I think that's the key to growth, is trying new things and understanding what works for you and what doesn't work for you. I mean, dude, I've been blue collar. I've been a foreman on a residential and commercial waterproofing crew. I've been a welder. I've been a concrete finisher. I've been in HVAC. I've done car sales. I've done interior remodeling work and then interior remodel sales. I sold Harleys for a little bit. I did some personal training for a little bit. I was a pepperoni pusher when I was 16 for Little Caesars, dog. I spent a summer at Wendy's, bro. Like, you know, like, I mean, anything that you can really think about. I sold metal buildings for a while.
Dang.
You know, so, I mean, I've had this evolution of professional capacities, and in every single one of them, I've learned something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really the first one that I learned anything from that was worth holding on to was when I became a foreman. And in my foremanship, I learned how to effectively not only direct a job correctly, like how to start here and end up here with a finished product, but also how to be a leader and how to motivate people around you, and how other people, like, you might respond to a particular form of motivation that
someone else does.
Yeah. You know, and a good leader will be able to analyze that and run with that.
Yeah.
You know, so that was really big. That job also helped me in a communicative sense when dealing with homeowners and customers, you know, because before then I was a blue collar welder and I was surrounded by a bunch of Mexicans, dog, and they talk a lot of shit. Can I say that?
I mean, if you want to, yes.
Dude, if all the vatos out there, bro, like dude, I'm telling you right now.
I mean, it's not me that they're going to come after. It's your fucking ass.
Hey,
Okay?
todo bien, bro. Everything's all good, bro.
I mean, honestly, probably like anybody that's probably going to listen to this is probably going to be like, man, them fucking white people, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you know, like it's that's what they would always say. No? And you know, just blue collar workers, some of the best men I've ever known, cuss more than a sailor do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stubbing a toe, swinging a hammer, whatever. I mean, I've ran jackhammers, and I'll be like, oh, you know. And obviously, you can't say that to someone who's given you multiple thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
So being a leader in that professional capacity and being able to communicate how the job's going to go, checking in with them, that really got me comfortable with talking to people in a professional sense. Before then, I mean, dude, I would talk to anybody, anywhere I was, went to a lot of parties as a kid, went to a lot of social functions as a kid, and was always, if you ask anyone that knew me, I'm pretty sure that they would say I was always a social butterfly in that aspect.
Yeah. Honestly, no. I mean, it's kind of crazy because like watching you actually like watching us all grow up was kind of like really wild because
cool.
like you went from being like really, I would say nerdy, you know, like we talked about before, you know, you went from like being nerdy and in the books and
I still read.
Yeah, I mean,
Reading's
definitely. Reading's definitely important, but like you were 100% in the books, you were 100% in school. I mean, I think it was also your mother was a teacher too, so you were like, "Oh shit," you know, but then like after we got out of like high school, you get to freshman year and it's like starts kind of changing.
Well, honestly, bro, what happened was I never really had any like real friends. And cuz I went to a different grade school than you guys did. And then I changed cuz my mom I honestly got bullied a lot at the school when I was like in elementary school. Got bullied a lot, and then 6th grade came around, and I did not want to continue that. And I had an opportunity to go somewhere where, you know, my mom worked.
Yeah.
And whether I think a part of me felt that might be safer in a self-preservation sense. Oh, it's going to get real. It's going to get real. Just want y'all to know this is men talk, and I'm a grown-ass man ready to talk, bro. I was a chubby kid, and I got bullied, bro, like bad.
You know, so I can't really say that I lived that whole aspect of it was like being bullied. Well, I did because I had acne like horrifically bad. So like, man, I got called all types of names, dude.
And middle school is
It
one
was
of the
the
most
world.
hateful
Yes,
places
dude.
on the face of the planet.
Like I didn't have to go through like much bullying because like after I had gotten on like Accutane or whatever it was, dude, like I was on that from like I think 6th and 7th grade year, maybe 7th and 8th grade year. And like my whole fucking face was like peeling, like my lips were always dry and chapped. My hair was long and like dry because like it dries out your skin so bad. Yeah. And dude, like I'm gonna tell you, like not many people really bullied you, but you know that I felt it when I was younger, not in 7th and 8th grade.
Sure.
Not in like those grades, but like when I couldn't help it was like when I was really seeing a lot of it. It was like 4th, 5th, 6th. Like it was like, hey, your pizza face, you know what I'm saying? Like that was.
And that's.
It was bad, bro. I mean, it was very bad. Like I get it. My acne was bad, but now you know it's like.
No, you're beautiful.
You know, hey, I know, dude. You sexy, you know.
See, and I was a chubby kid, man. I was a chubby kid.
So you got picked on for like weight and stuff.
Yeah, being fat. And I mean, there was one particular instance where I remember I got held down and like 3 or 4 other dudes came up behind me with rubber bands and just like popped this shit out of my neck for like a solid 20 minutes. Teacher did not give a fuck. And I mean, I'd never learned anything about self-defense or how to fight back. So, I mean.
Well, you really wasn't like, I mean, you were kind of like really a pacifist until like 11th grade year. No, probably still now. Like
I don't ever want to hurt anybody, bro.
Yeah.
I don't. And that's why football was so cool. But whenever I changed schools and I met all of you guys, that was really that was the first time in my life that someone had actually shown me any type of friendship that was not like borderline extreme bullying. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and for like the first 2 weeks there, it was a new place, and I hated it. But then made some friends, and then stuck around. And then 7th grade came along, and we were both bigger than
most people. Yeah,
most people in 7th grade. And I played soccer as a kid.
Yeah,
never played football. and the football coach saw me walking down the hall. He's like, bro, you got to come out here. And I met you and a couple other guys that are also really doing really well right now. Hunter Snow, Cuddy Slate, that whole Gentry Middle School football team.
Yeah.
That they showed me camaraderie and respect.
Old George.
Yeah,
Old George.
George Run Flash Dog. So I mean, it was honestly the friends and the peers that I chose to surround myself at that time that kind of broke me out of my shell.
Yeah.
And then 8th grade comes along, and I've made some other friends, and everything's cool, and people like know me and stuff. And I mean, I was really, really starting to develop into my own sense of being. Then we go to high school, and we were both pretty talented athletes.
Yeah.
And that was cool coming from where we came from and the school that we went to, bro. I hate the way that it shook out, but the old stereotype is, like if you're good at sports, you don't really do any wrong, you know what I'm saying? Especially when that school's got a losing program and
I've
definitely
done some stuff that was bad.
Yeah, we did too. But I mean, that's part of growing too. You can't be old and wise without being young and dumb. And we were
definitely young and dumb.
We still are. That's the key to life, right there.
That is 100%. If you don't experience it, if you don't try it at least one time, I mean, I don't know.
Well, dude, I'm just saying, bro. You got to experience things, and that's really where growth comes from. Is maybe trying some things and understanding, okay, is this really where I need to be? Because the person that I am right now, that's sitting in this chair, I would not have gotten to be the person that I am or where I am, the father that I am, anything that I am today, I would not have become if I hadn't have fucked up.
Exactly. I mean, you're right.
So
I think that's like the thing too, is like coming up from where I was, and like I was bullied for at least a little bit, not really long, because like I was very
jacked.
I was athletic, I could say. Like, so I kind of made up for it with like your sports and stuff like that, and being athletic. So it was like, oh, as long as you perform well in sports, then
you're safe. Nobody's gonna mess with you.
Nobody's gonna mess with you. So I was like, okay, let's put all my time and effort into that, and I really did. I mean, I devoted a lot of time in sports, like in just general, like, hey, and I don't think it was just because like being bullied or anything. I think it was just like.
It's gratification.
Not having a father growing up, dude. It was just like, man, I was going through so much shit. It was just like, dude, I'm gonna go and do everything I can just so I don't have to go home. It wasn't that I lived in a bad household. My mom was great mother, but at the same time, it was just like, damn, dude, and like I'm going through so much shit, and then you're having to deal with all this damn acne, and now you're having to deal with like being on Accutane, and Accutane makes you look like you're a damn zombie and dead. It's just like, dude, put all my time and effort into it,
Yeah.
And so it was just like, shit, let's just hit it hard. And I don't know, dude. That was like...
Well, and then we get rewarded for performing well.
Yeah.
And then that becomes your escape, and then that's really something that is gratifying and positive.
Yeah, and then you have those friends, man, that you meet in middle school and high school and stuff like that kind of helps you out through a lot of it, because like my friend group was a little bit different. So like I hung out with George a little bit, and
love old George. Man. I once watched that man pop his own shoulder in the socket and ran back out there.
Jesus, on the football field, yes, tough, man, crazy tough, dude.
Tough.
Like it would pop out like every game.
Tough.
It would pop out like every quarter, and
he would just hold on
and just let's go back out there. He'd be running the daggone out to the sideline with it limping, and then I don't know. I think I really hung out with like certain people. I hung out with like Austin Rozier and stuff like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's all I really hung out with a lot, and then like growing up, dude, it was like. It's kind of crazy because you see the whole dynamic of our friends like change, because like we go from like middle school where it's just Gentry, and then now Meadowview, like we're separated, and now North Surrey combines, and now we're all together. So that's kind of the cool part, because like that's when like all of us really became friends. Like Corbin and you, Cody, Blaze, all of us like really became.
And the upperclassmen were incredibly influential as well. That took us under their wing. And I would honestly say they probably would not have done that if we were not as talented at the sports that we were.
Oh, yeah. If they wouldn't have seen like that we were putting in work, I don't think they would have. Like that's when I became like, that's when like the whole Wu-Tang was a big thing.
We played smash mouth football, dude. And I mean, when you can rock somebody's helmet off, dude, like, I mean, that does gain you a particular level of respect.
And, we may not have been the best school in athletics, but it was
we were the tightest.
Oh yeah, we were going to be tight, bro.
We were tight.
We were hitting hard.
But I mean, those friendships, and then the experiments that most teenagers go through after hours and off campus, sometimes during on campus, those experiences, they mold and shape you. And then it is easy to fall into maybe the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
And you gotta go through the wrong friends to find the right friends.
And I'm gonna I had my fair share of it. So like
I did too.
I experienced mine like really quickly. So like I did a lot of my stuff before everybody else did. So
Yeah.
you know, like 7th and 8th grade, I was dipping and doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, guys.
Yeah.
You know, some bad things. And then like freshman and sophomore year is when it kind of completely stopped, because like that's when me and Taylor got back together.
Yep.
And she was like, "Hey, no,
Yeah.
that's cut off." But like freshman year was rough. Like freshman year, man, me and my buddy Luis, we were doing all kinds of stuff. Like anything you could think of, we were doing it. Like I was out all night, and I was still playing sports. I was
Yeah.
still performing.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, I can have fun, bro.
Yeah.
And I was having fun like from 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. Like I really had a blast. Now, like you were completely different. You went from like 6th, 7th, 8th, and then 9th was okay, but then like 10th, 11th, and 12th. Your hind end was just like, oh, I'm going to experience anything and everything I can. Every red house party I'm going to be at, every cop I can run away from, I'm going to run away from. It was anything and everything that you could do, bro.
Bro.
Like we kind of talked about this last time, and I hate that, you know, we didn't post it all, but it was kind of crazy because like we talked about this. It was like really seeing where you were at, like growing, like going.
Oh, man.
And like where you were coming, like where you came from, then like where you were heading towards, it was like, oh shit, Ben's not going to make it, dude.
Yeah.
Like I really thought that you were going to be the first one of our friend group that was
My mom
going to be going, bro.
My mom looked me in the face the day that I turned 23 and told me that she did not expect me to see me make it to 22. And now I'm 27, so I mean, you got 5 years on you, my dukes. What's up? You know what I'm saying? And now it's totally different. But yeah, no. After high school, I definitely tried a bunch of different things and experienced a lot of things. And now, as a grown man, dude, I can look back and realize that I wasn't doing those things just because I liked to party or just because I liked to try stuff.
Yeah.
I was running from things.
Yeah.
I was running from a lot of emotional issues and internal conflicts that I had going on. And, you know, after high school, try to go to college for a little bit. I really can't even say that I tried, bro. I took one semester at a local community college, started with 5 classes, and ended up with 3: art appreciation, Spanish, and English. And I mean, you know, after that, I was like, I'm not mature enough right now to go to college. So I still have not gone back. I'm working on it, but
That's a hard thing, dude. I mean,
it is.
It is, dude, because like when I don't know, dude, like that's the crazy part, because like we're talking about college. That was probably the hardest thing to go to.
Yeah.
Was like, I don't even know. Like I'm probably gonna cry on this episode if I talk about it. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to keep it straight.
That's cool.
But
man.
like, man, it was kind of crazy because, you know, after it was really, we were all friends, we were all tight, but I feel like all of us became even closer after the wreck. You know, I think once the wreck happened, it was like, oh shit. And like we were hanging out, we were doing things we shouldn't have been doing together, we were partying, like we were having a great time, but you guys were always there for me. And I think that was the biggest thing. It was like once that wreck happened, it was like, oh crap, you know, my entire family showed up, and it wasn't like it was my family, but it was, you know, you guys, like you guys are my family, you know, like the whole football team was there. Like everybody that I played sports with were there, you know, and it was like, oh shit. And there was nights, man, that we stayed in the hospital. Like we camped out on the hospital floor, people bringing us food, like pizza, Chinese. Man, I remember me and D-Hart, I about got into a fight with a cop, and D-Hart had to hold me off because this cop was trying to say that I was doing something. Man, I was about ready to swing because like my whole life had changed. Yeah. And then like leaving and going to college was like so hard, you know, because like I talk about Corbin, I've talked about him, you know, and me and him were like extremely close after the wreck. You know what I'm saying? Like we were close before, but like we were extremely close after the wreck. Like, you know, we went to prom together. Like we went to senior week together. Like we did all of that kind of stuff together, and it was just like, oh shit, you know, now you're leaving for college, and like me and the guy worked together. Like we worked at Ollie's, and like we didn't do nothing. Like me, him, it was like me, Corbin, then Gavin got a job there, and then Mitchell Midkiff, and like we were all like working there and hanging out, dude. And it was just like when I left that, dude, it was like, oh shit, like I left
your
my entire
support group.
Yeah, dude, because like I mean, shit, we all got hammered and, you know, ended up at my house tattooing each other. You know, we all have like a cross on our ankle, I'm pretty sure.
Well, see, I was there that day, but then my mom made me go home before I actually got my tat.
Soft ass.
Hey, man. Mom knew what I was up to, dog. And what's funny now is I got that on my got that covered.
Hey, we got you, Mom.
Yeah,
We got you.
yeah,
Hey, we're gonna get
yeah,
back
that's
at
cool.
that. We're
But
gonna
I mean,
get you one now.
isn't it so funny how influential the early years are? Because we think back and we feel like they were just yesterday. But I mean, bro, it'll be 10 years that we graduated high school before too long.
That's what I'm saying, man. And like when I went to God, bro, when I went to school, man, that was like the hardest thing. It was like I was leaving all of you guys. I was leaving everybody, and it was like,
Now you got to figure out who you are again.
yeah, man, you gotta 100% like rediscover your entire self. Like you gotta go from, like you said, you start off with like five classes, you end up with 3. Man, I got there like my first year, and it was death, bro. I mean, I picked up all the classes I could. I was playing football. I was going to football practices and all that crap. And man, I cried like every day, bro.
Yeah.
Like it was rough. Like I mean, I'm talking about like like I was crying. I was ready to come home. I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this, dude. And so I finished out the year, and then it was like, nah, I can't go back.
But you know, that's awesome. That's awesome that you were able to rationalize that and figure that out.
Well, I think it was hard too because like, you know, I kind of seen like my mother was struggling, so I was just like, nah.
And it's all going back to choosing your hard, bro.
Yeah,
because it would have been hard. It would have been hard for you to stay and do that.
Yeah, and it would be hard to leave.
It was hard
and
to leave.
I was like, shit,
Yeah.
because like coaches in them were like, hey, you coming back? Like, no.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought about transferring back out. I really thought about transferring out and going somewhere else, but it was like,
If your heart's not in it, man, that's where it's at. And I mean, that's a really another good point to bring up is like, you know, that was something that you had to go through to become the person that's sitting in that chair.
100%, dude.
You know?
I'm gonna tell you, would I ever change it again? No. Like, would
Right.
I ever change anything that ever happened to me again? No, I can't.
neither.
No, because I mean, it's made like it has made me 100% who I am now.
Yeah.
It's made me be able to open up and do this because like before I would have never done this, dude.
Right.
Like I've gotten so much better talking on camera and being on video and talking to people that it's insane. Like I haven't had as many jobs. I've experienced a shit ton of stuff like bad things and everything. I've been fortunate to not really, I guess, experience a lot, which I probably should. But you know, I went from like Ollie's to selling cell phones.
That's cool.
To selling buildings.
That's
you
cool.
know, like, and I did a lot with buildings. You know, I did a lot with Carport Central, like metal buildings, like selling buildings, marketing.
Yeah.
I traveled, bro. I got to experience a lot of stuff, installing and everything. And so like that was a cool experience. And now it's like coming back, like circling back to where we were at, like starting your whole business, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like starting my whole business was it's different. It's
hard.
It's a whole different world, bro. Like we watched Dustin do it, and like I watched Dustin go from like he was okay, you know, living life, having a grand time, to starting his business and was like
miserable.
all depressed, miserable.
And it's tough.
And like he's gonna be on here, I know he's gonna talk about it too. And it's like then watching you do the same thing, it's like, oh bro, you go from like, hey man, I'm working every day to damn, now I'm miserable. Now I'm depressed. And you know, you might still be.
Yeah.
And that's where we're gonna get into all that.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. But now it's like, oh dang, like yeah, you're still expanding, like you're trying to build your business and you're building it. Like that's a great thing. And it's hard.
It's cool.
It's hard. Like I've started the same thing, like this whole real estate, photography, marketing, and all that stuff. It's just like, whoa.
When I say choose your hard, bro, like, yeah, entrepreneurship is hard and going into business for yourself is hard. But like, you know what else is hard? Is having a dream and ignoring it and living with the what ifs every day. Like that's hard. So, I mean, when it comes to choosing your hard, man, if you have a passion, if you have something that you think about doing every day and it's risky and it's scary, you have to try it because it might be hard to go and start a business. You might be flat broke for a while. You might have to sell some shit. You might have to figure it out. But what's also harder is being unhappy in a professional capacity or in any capacity in your life, really.
Yeah.
And not knowing or thinking about the what ifs. Like, choose your hard. Both of them are going to be hard. Nothing in life is going to be easy. Nothing in life is given to you. I think we all kind of have the lottery dream, you know what I'm saying? But I don't play it because it's a stupid tax. Yeah. You know, it's just like,
I mean, I only play it like every once in a while.
you know, people say you can't win if you don't play, but dog, like I don't play games. I play guitars. But you know what I'm saying? You like that? No. But I mean, and that's hard too. That's a really hard hobby. But I mean, after college, I figured out that college wasn't for me. So then, obviously, got to make money. Tried a few different things. I made wine for a while. That was really cool.
Yeah, dude, you worked at like the North State or something like
Yep.
that for like the longest time,
Yep.
and then you started working at what's that one up there on 89? They sell wine.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It might be North. It might be North State.
Old North State was on Main Street.
Yeah, but they're still up. Then you start working at somewhat Fish Hippie. Fish.
They're the
something?
same. Yeah.
They're the same company.
Yeah, they're
though.
owned by the same people.
But they were doing that was different things.
Different things.
Oh,
but
okay,
I mean, I was in the bar. I was a server, and I was in the restaurant industry. Did a lot of different things, and I think everyone needs shitty jobs. That way, they can appreciate good ones. Or because just like playing sports, just like learning an instrument, working a shitty job, you'll learn shit. Like you will learn things that'll be beneficial and will stick with you. For the rest of your
you're
life.
gonna find somebody in there that knows something. They're gonna teach you at least one thing in life.
And that's another good point to take with you when it comes to growth. Is everybody can be a teacher.
Yeah.
Like right now, dude, I'm getting advice from a 72-year-old piano player who's been divorced 4 times.
Yeah.
He knows a lot about what not to do, and he went through a lot of therapy. He went through a lot of anger management. So I mean, I'm grateful that I have someone in my life that's experienced those things that can guide me through what I'm going through now.
Yeah, it teaches that guidance.
Yeah.
And allows you
to
help you out at least. That's a good thing.
I knew that I had to make money. So I mean, I was doing these things, and I was working 3 jobs at one point. Just a hustler. I was never just gonna sit on the couch and play video games. And honestly, back then, I wish streaming was a thing, bro. Because if it was back then, I would be. But by the time streaming caught on and all that stuff, no, that ain't me.
Well, I mean, we probably would have been a lot of people would have been very successful earlier on because people
Black
know
Ops
game, bro.
Zombies round 72. That was
I don't think that's that good though. Like now looking at it, I mean, really, I think it's good in our era, but now these jokers are making it.
Dude,
I watched a guy earlier that was playing the new one that was on level of 4,000.
But they're different. They're not the same. Black Ops 1 and Kino der Toten 72, 150.
It's different.
Yeah,
it's different.
It was raw, dude, is what it was. And I'm telling you right now, we would have done something because our banter and our performance was impeccable. But I've tried a bunch of different things, man, and I learned something from each one, and that really molded me into who I am as a professional. That really molded me into who I am as a person. Yeah, and it definitely gave me a lot of experience to pass down to my kids.
Yeah, so I think that's I really think that's the key, dude. Is honestly, we're still learning right now. We're still trying to learn and figure out where we want to be at in life and what we want to pass down to them. Because that's the hard part. There's certain things that I do want to pass down, and there's some things it's dude, no, let's not pass that down, bro.
The key to understanding everything is to realize that you know nothing.
That is 100% true.
I'm going to say that again, bro.
I'm going to tell you, I don't, bro.
Oh, yeah. The key to understanding everything is to realize you know nothing.
Because I don't, dude. I'm going to tell you, man, y'all, talking to, on here and people listening to me, bro, I don't know shit. I don't. I know what I've been through.
You figured it out. You're figuring it out.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out. That's the hard thing, dude. I'm figuring out life.
Well, and it takes balance.
Yeah, bro, because, I don't have, I didn't have that father figure. So now it's whoa. And then, I got with Taylor and then the wreck happened and all of that. And then it's Tim was my father figure. It's oh no, and it's damn. And I have my uncle. My uncle, he's my father figure, but I don't have I didn't have that person to grow up with in the household to say, hey, this is how you should be. This is what you should know how to do. So now trying to figure that out and teach my kids that same shit. It's what do we do? And what do I tell them? How do I teach them? And
they don't give you a manual, bro.
No, bro. I'm gonna tell you, dude. There's a book out there that my wife wanted me to read, and honestly, I'm reading it. I am starting to read it. It's how to be an expecting father, or what to expect.
I read it.
What to expect, when expecting father.
I read it.
Shit.
I know.
It's a plaid book or something.
I've read it. My dad gave me that.
Yeah. Now you tell me, bro. Yes, I understand it, but there's there's nothing there's nothing out there that can tell me, hey, bro, you should definitely understand. When your son looks at you and says a cuss word, what are you supposed to say to him?
That's
what I mean.
Well, look, man, something that my therapist helped me understand. And yeah, I'm going to therapy, dog. I'll be the first one to tell you, dude.
Hey, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that.
I'm going to therapy, dog. Something that my therapist really drove home to me is that, they don't know what you grew up with. All they know is you. So I mean, if your childhood experience wasn't the best, but you can look back and say, hey, man, I'm better than what I had growing up. that really doesn't matter to them because they don't know.
Yeah, because they don't know.
All they
yeah.
know is
Yeah.
you. And so that really stuck with me. And I mean, I had a very, very different childhood than you did, man. I mean, I'm blessed enough to come from a 2-parent household, and you know, they did the best that they could with me.
Yeah.
And everything that I did I'm not blaming it on them. Like, I can't, because I mean, I just needed to go and experience things that I needed to experience.
Right.
You know, but like, they didn't grow up with grandpa. They're growing up with me. And everything that grandpa got right, everything that grandpa got wrong, that doesn't really matter to them.
Yeah.
Because it's what I do that they will remember.
And that's the whole thing, is like trying to be that change. You know what I mean? Because like there's things that like Dakota goes through, that she's been through, and that like she's still trying to like fight through. Is like, hey, look, I don't want to be like my parents. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing as me. It's like, I don't want my kid to know that. And you know what I mean? Like yeah, they know that they're not around or whatever it is, but it's like, no, you're gonna know different. Like, and my kids are spoiled. Like, and I'm gonna tell you, like they are going to have
SPOILT.
Yeah, spoiled, bro. Spoiled. I'm gonna tell you, they are going to have everything they physically can. Like, if I can provide it for them and they want it, they're gonna know what hard work is.
Yeah.
They're gonna know how to be emotionally available.
Yeah.
They're going to know how to be, you know, physically available and physically fit or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like they're going to know that I've done it and I've taught them that. You know what I mean? Like my 2-year-old, my 4-year-old already want to learn how to shave. You know, and I don't shave my beard, bro. It's already going to be a while. But let me tell you what I do.
They got play razors.
Yes, they do. Let me tell you. I take like the little razor or whatever it is, and like it has like the plastic cap on it and junk, bro. I put some like shaving cream on their face. We'll stand up in the mirror and shave their faces. Mm-hmm. Boy, I'm gonna tell you. And then brushing their teeth. They love to brush their teeth. They love, and you know, it's not something that's just something that I love to teach them. You know what I mean?
You don't use fluoride toothpaste, do you?
Nah, bro. Not for them.
There's plenty enough fluoride in the water.
Yeah, bro. Nah, I'm on well water, bro.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Mine's got all the other stuff, bro. I'm gonna grow up teaching them how to drink out of a water hose.
Yeah, of course, man.
I mean, hey, it may cause whatever it is because of the rubber hose,
bro,
but hey.
And every generation will look down at this next one that's coming up and be like, y'all are too soft. And I'm like, you know, I hear that from the people that I play, the people that I tour on this band stuff with, bro. They're like, your generation's, Ben, you were a diamond in the rough compared to the rest of your generation. And I'm like, what do you mean? Y'all got it too easy. And then
I don't understand it, bro.
And I'm looking down at this next generation, bro, and I'm like, y'all got it too easy, man. And I'm just like, it's a thing. But then also too, bro, it's different times, and the times change, and technology advances so fast now. Like, you know, that affects culture, and you know, the trajectory of how things are going. Like, dude, if you go back and watch any movie from the 90s, if that were to come out brand new in theaters today, canceled.
Somebody's getting canceled.
Lawsuit canceled. Not going down, bro.
Yeah, bro.
So, I mean,
there's some stuff you should not be watching back in the 90s, especially if you're trying to if you're easily offended.
And that ain't no Diddy, bro.
No. That one's rough, bro. That one's bad.
Yeah. No, he did all that shit, dog. Bill Cosby too. Oh shit,
bro. They gonna come after you next,
bro.
Fucking
let them live, dog. Come get me.
But bro, I'm gonna tell you that is the thing, is like teaching them how to be that person that I didn't have to grow up with. You know what I mean? Like to teach them, hey, you don't have to experience not having a father,
right.
You know, stuff like that. So like that's the cool part to actually see, is because like they see that and they know that, you know. And I'm not saying that my kids aren't going to know what hard work is,
sure,
because like they know what $1 means. You know, like I take them, and like like me and Dakota talked about before, like if I'm working, I give them $1, right? They go do something for $1 or a couple dollars or whatever it is, and then they can learn. They can either choose to spend it or save it. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you, dude, I'm proud of my oldest man. He made one of the biggest decisions he's ever made. You know, was like as a kid, I would say it's a really hard decision. You know, you got $6 in your pocket. You can either buy this toy, or you can save up for next weekend, and you can buy the big toy that you want. And let me tell you, that boy put that $6 back in his pocket, and he said, "I'm gonna save up for this big toy, Dad."
That's cool.
And I'm gonna tell you, hey, I was proud. I was very proud.
That's cool. And
now, I don't want him to be like me, because I'm stingy. I'm a stingy joker.
I am too. I am
I don't,
too,
I don't
bro.
spend money, bro.
It's cool. It's cool.
I don't spend money.
But that's what it's there for. That's what you
Yeah.
work for it for.
That is right. That is right.
One of the things that I'm trying to get my children to understand is that it is okay to have feelings. Like it's okay to have feelings, and that you don't have to bottle everything down. Like you don't have to, like. And I tell my son right now, I'm like, hey man, Daddy's going through something. Like Daddy's going through it right now, and that has nothing to do with you. Like that's not your problem. You are not related to that. That has nothing to do with you. And you have every right to feel any emotion that you ever want to.
Bro, I'm the same. I'm gonna tell you, I'm 100% the same, because like there's been times that he's came in and he's caught me crying, or I've been like tore up, and I just done, dude, I'm not doing good.
Yeah.
And he'll look at me and he's like, "What's wrong, Daddy?" Like, hey.
And you can't.
Yeah, you can, and but I'm gonna tell you, I try to be 100% transparent with him. Like,
honesty, yeah.
Yes, like if there's something that I don't feel like is too out of the way, like something that he probably shouldn't hear, I'm gonna tell him like, hey, look, this is what Daddy's experiencing. This is what I'm going through. This is why I'm sad. Like I either miss your brother or I miss somebody else, or this is what's going on, right? Like I'm struggling, and like I don't hold nothing back from him. If he's crying, bro, he needs to cry. Like
Yeah.
if my son walks up to me and he's having a bad day, like we sit down on the thing, and I don't ever say suck it up, quit crying. It's one of those things is like, hey, look,
Your emotions are valid.
yeah, your emotions are valid. I don't want to hear I don't want the whining, but I want you to tell me, why are you crying? Why are you so emotional?
Teach them how to process
Exactly,
it
bro.
rationally,
Sit them down and say, hey, son, what is bothering you? Why are you so emotional today? What can I do to help you cope with this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, that is a big challenge for me. Like that's a big thing, because like
It's learned behavior to just bottle it down.
yeah,
and
but
mask
like, well,
over
I haven't opened up and went to therapy. We're gonna get into that too, because you've made that step to get into therapy, but like I never made that step. Like I never chose to go to therapy, and still haven't. Okay, I think this is my form of therapy right now.
It's cool.
But I haven't made that step into, hey, I want to go see a therapist. But I see it as, hey, this is my therapy, or I can help my kids, and I can, whatever, right? But I think that was, I think that's different. You know what I mean? I think the whole therapy thing is a little different for me. It's not I'm against therapy. But like you said, bottling it down and like what we're taught is very, very masculine. That's a very big thing. The old generation, your grandpa, your great grandpa told your grandpa this, your grandpa told your daddy this, your daddy told you this.
They didn't have therapy, bro.
Bro, you don't cry. You shut up. Hey, you suck it up, bud. Suck it up. You cut your finger, rub some dirt on it.
Deal with it.
Exactly, bro.
Just bottle that up, put it on the shelf.
Yeah, dude. And I'm gonna tell you, that's not how it works.
No, that's how you end up like snapping one day and killing somebody.
Killing somebody or killing yourself.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
So I mean,
And people don't think about that. People really do not think about that. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people out there, or marriages or relationships or whatever you're going through, is that like we're taught as men to not express our emotions. You're not supposed to look at your wife and say, hey, look, I'm having a hard time.
right.
You're not supposed to look at them and say, hey, I'm experiencing something emotional, or I'm going through something. It's supposed to be, I'm gonna keep that shit down. I'm gonna go to work.
I'm the rock.
Dude, and you're not. And that's the hardest thing, is like people don't understand that. And I think there's men that still don't understand that. There's men that still don't understand that they can open up, or that they can just be themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like they can just say, hey.
It's just learned behavior. It's learned behavior out of self-preservation.
And bro, that's the whole point of this podcast, dude. Because I know somebody's gonna listen to this shit, and they're gonna open up and they're gonna start talking to somebody.
Dude, you got
right?
to.
Yeah, dude. Yes, man.
Something that Albert Einstein talked to himself, dog. And I mean, I've been talking to myself, and I'm not always the best person that.
I don't know if I would just say talking to yourself is the best form, but I mean, as long as you're getting it out there in the open, yes. I mean, it'll help. It'll help you, bro.
I have experienced so much growth just over this past weekend, because I was down at the beach and I pulled my phone out, hit record, and had a full-blown conversation with myself.
And it helped?
And then I stopped. I got in my car and I'm driving back home and I'm playing back through it.
And listening. Did it help?
Oh,
Did it help?
Oh, yeah.
Bro.
Dude. And I can identify and rationalize so much. Like that. One of the things that I was able to realize, bro, is that as a person, I have not been emotionally available to the majority of my friends or my ex-fiance for the last 5 years, because I built up such a wall to myself. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, when I'm talking about that to myself, because if you can't be honest with yourself, you ain't going to be honest with anybody. And 9 times out of 10, you're really the only person that knows, like, all the good that you've done and all the bad that you've done.
But what do you think this is doing for me? Like, why do you say I think this is my therapy? Yeah, because like I'm in front of a camera. I've been in front of just a single camera, and it's like you start listening to it and you hear your own. Like I'm editing it, so I have to listen to it all over again.
Sure.
And it's like, dang, I've been through some shit. Or like, whoa, you're going through this mentally. You're going through this physically. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and everybody that you see walking around on this planet is going through something right now. Whether they want to admit it to themselves or the people around them, or total strangers and put it on the internet or not. You know what I'm saying?
Most of them won't even open up and say it, bro. They'll bottle it down until it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
And then they'll start using things to run away from it. And I'm so grateful that I experienced that at such a young age, like 17, 18 years old, where back then I didn't know how to face my issues and how to look in the mirror and be okay with the person that I am, or to take a step back and be able to be like, hey, man, what's really going on right now? And why are you chugging that bottle of Jack Daniels? Why are you taking those pills? Why are you smoking that dope? Why are you doing these things? And is it because you actually enjoy that? Or are there deeper issues that you're just not willing to face right now? Why are you spending 3 hours in the gym? Like, do you actually enjoy that? Is that really healthy? Or, I mean, are you running from something? So, you know, being able to take a step back and internalize and reflect internally, and to be like, hey man, like that's what I was doing, and that's why I was doing what I was doing. This has been the result of it. That hasn't been working. Like, I haven't been growing as a person. I'm still having these same issues. That was my main reason. That was one of the main reasons that I decided to go to therapy, is because I knew that's something that I have not tried, and I've tried to medicate, to run away, to, you know, I've tried to do all these other things before that are still not working. And then these are professionals that are schooled, and you pay them money to. See, that's something else too, is that my buddy Dan, he's 72 years old, man. One of the best piano players I've ever met. Still out here drinking liquor and meeting women down at the beach. He's 72. He has been divorced 4 times, you know, but I mean, like, you know, he's the most youthful 72-year-old person I've ever met in my life. And I talked to him a lot, and he was like, look, man, you should go to therapy because you pay that person for advice. And you can ask anybody else. You can ask all of us. You can ask your friends. You can ask anybody else, and they'll give you advice for free. But if you pay somebody for advice and it works, or it doesn't work for that matter, like there's some merit to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially because we mentioned that we were stingy earlier. And I mean, the whole therapy thing is that it is a safe place. It's really cool because there's no judgment there, dude. And you can walk in there, and the whole point of a therapist is to help you reach conclusions for yourself. Like, you don't go and meet somebody and they tell you, like, this is what it is and this is what you need to do. Mine says, I'll ask her a question and she can be like, you ask you that. Like, ask yourself that question. How do you feel when you answer that? How do you feel when you talk about these things? Like, how do these things make you feel? Yeah. How do you make you feel? How do you feel about yourself? And it's not like, you know, it's not like she's telling me, you shouldn't be doing this. Or you should be doing, yeah. She's helping me come up with my own conclusion and what I should do. And that's honestly so enlightening because, like, you know, if you were to go and see a priest or a prophet, you know, they tell you something exactly that you need to go and do, and you do it, and it doesn't necessarily work out the way that you would hope, right? That's an experience compared to you sitting down with yourself and you just being like, hey, man, I know that what I'm doing is not conducive to the goal that I have. Or I genuinely feel like if I were to do this and make these changes in my life, I would be happier. That's something that has to come from you. And a therapist really only helps you circle around to that. Yeah, like helps you find that kind of median to say, hey, look, this is not oh, hey, you're a piece of crap, or going out and drinking a fifth of Jack Daniels. It's like, but you need one like I got, bro, and she'll keep it real with you, bro, because I've said some things and she's been like, yo, man, like, you're pretty fucked up. No, not like that. She's just been like, yo, dude, like, do you really believe what you just said? Like, do you really think that is what's going on? And I think that's the crazy part, man, is because like I just haven't really brought myself to do the therapy, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't said, hey, I need therapy now. I think it's because, like, it took a lot for me, bro.
Well, I think this has finally like helped me open up to figure out, hey, is this helping me? And I'm gonna tell you, it has. This is like you were saying that you talk to yourself for like an hour, you listen to it, man. It has truly helped me to record this, listen to it, and to ask myself the same exact question. It's like, I mean, do I really feel that way? Do I really want to do that? You know, and like really thinking about it, dude. I don't know, man. I've tried to be less stressful now. Yeah. Like I've tried to be less stressed. It's just
more
like
mindful.
Yes, bro. Like that whole balance, like you said, like what we talked about before, trying to find that right balance is like being key. Like doing these videos and talking to people, and I talk to you know, a lot of people out there that's going through crap.
Me too.
And it's like, damn, you know, I know I don't have it. I know I've had it bad, but I know now that I've changed that now that I'm still working to change that and working to change my thoughts, it's like, bro, there's people out there that's got a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah,
I mean,
bro.
I can sit here and say that I think we both can sit here and say in certain categories, bro, like you had some things better than I did and I had some things better than you did, but that doesn't matter. Like what matters is, and here's the thing about trauma, man, is, and we'll use you and I just for this example. What I've been through in my life compared to what you have been through in your life is so minimal. Well, but it's still traumatic all the same.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can say that. Like we can sit here and, you know, you can't sit here and compare traumas. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit here and say
you cannot.
No, I can't sit here and say, oh, bro, I've been through so much more crap than you. That's not how it works.
No, it's not.
No, dude, because like in my mind, the trauma that I've been through is horrible. Mm-hmm. In your mind, the trauma that you've been through is horrible.
Right.
Like I don't know what it's like to step in your shoes and go with what you're going through.
And neither one of us know what it was like for people to be in Vietnam.
Exactly, bro. Like I don't know what it's like to experience that. I don't know. Right. And like you just said earlier, you know, like you talked about like your ex-fiance. Like I don't know what that's like. Oh, you know what I mean?
Oh, dude. Separating from someone that you just spent 5 years with, especially when you have 2 children with them, is very hard.
Yeah.
But it's all about choosing your heart, bro. I mean,
and like I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't sit here and say, hey, bro, yeah, man, my dad was an alcoholic. My trauma was way worse than yours, or I grew up on it. I can't sit here and say this.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
That's not the. I'm reading a book right now, and the guy that wrote that book was really dealing with people that were victims of rape, physical abuse, POW, prisoners of war, people in Vietnam, post-traumatic stress disorders. And honestly, dude, I was reading that book, and it's a good thing that I can laugh about it. But I mean, I read all that shit, and I'm like, damn, dude, I feel like such a little bitch right now because
like what you're going through.
Because I was emotionally neglected as a child. I was reaffirmed and enabled from that neglect, and then never really grew up and faced those 2 things as a person. And here, very recently, had my heart broken. Yeah. So I mean, like.
And then you're listening to like someone who's been like trapped in like a POW camp for 4 years and torture. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, I got 3 things that I can rationalize and identify. This motherfucker only has 3 fingers on his hand from his torn knob. Well, like, get over it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, bro, I think that's like the whole point of like when the older generation looks at us and says, like, you guys are fucking soft.
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I'm trying to break that, bro. Like, I don't want to.
It'll die off.
Yeah, like just because like what I go through doesn't mean like I understand like you got your fingers blown off or like whatever, right? I get that, but it's like, bro, like my trauma is still my trauma.
Yeah.
Right. And I hate it because like in the world of things, like we're going to get onto the. Like what you talked about, the whole separation thing. So I don't want you to feel like I'm ignoring that. Okay,
no,
I don't want you to feel like I'm pushing that off.
No, you cool.
But
it's your show, bro. If you want to swing your dick around, go right ahead, bro.
No. The whole like we were talking about, like the whole trauma thing and people looking at you like that. It's like I don't know, bro. Like opening up and talking about this. You know, there's some people who listen to it, like older generations and things like that, and they're like, you know, I feel like they look at me funny, and it's like, why is he talking about this? You know. And like,
sure,
I guess that's like the mental thing, but I've lost my train of thought. Now I'm trying to revisit it. Yeah,
but you not? Do you want to? Does it make you feel better? Does it help you?
Right, bro.
Are there people out there that's helping them? Have people told you that this has impacted their life for a positive reason? And can you say that it's impacted your life positively?
And I think that's the reason why I continue to do it, dude. Is because because of that, dude. Like I have no problem. I really have no problem telling people like the shit I've been through. Like I've been through it. I mean, if you ask me in person, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you about it. But like the whole trauma thing being worse than others, man, that's just I don't know, dude. That's probably the hardest thing. So that's this whole thing with like how we were comparing traumas and shit. And this is what's so stressful about like the whole older or younger generation and whatever it is, bro, is that they'll look at you and that after you've lost a child and they're like, you'll have another one. You'll have another one. Like, bro, that was my fucking son.
Yeah.
Like, what the?
Like, fuck you,
like,
dude.
fuck, okay, what do you want me to do? Just fucking punt him away and forget about him?
Yeah, no.
Like, and that's the whole situation, is that people look at you like that. And like they try to compare their traumas to your trauma, and that's what's wrong with a lot of people. That is what's wrong with a lot of men.
Well, and generational trauma is the thing, bro.
Yeah, bro.
From the way that they did it back in the day, it gets passed down, and that's learned behavior. Like, that's something that I realized is, I was bottling down my emotions and not really even facing them, and really only exploding, getting angry, because that was all that I had been generationally taught.
It's just bottling it up.
Yeah.
And that's like what people do. And that's like you talking about now, like you running away or like you hitting the gym for like 3 hours, or you doing this and that. It's called escapist behavior.
Yeah. And
our friends are going to love that, because they're going to look this word up, and it's a big thing. I did the same exact thing. Like when I tried to run away, when I tried to get away from like my house that I was in with Taylor, when I tried to get away from like living the life that I live now, like when I was just like, hey, I don't want that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's an entire thing. Like when you spend hours and hours in the gym, and you're like, I want to keep doing that. And
I only need about 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes.
Right, that's what it is. Like, these people are spending so much time doing things that they are. Like, either you're putting all your amount of time in your work, either you're putting all your amount of time away from your family and trying to avoid them, or you're spending it in the gym. You're spending it doing activities that you normally wouldn't do for an extended amount of time, and It's called escapist behavior, is what it is. And that's like what we've both experienced, and anybody experiences it. It's a big thing that men experience, and they don't even know it, bro. Like, they don't even know like what they're doing. Like, you think that you're coping. I mean, you talked about this weekend over the phone.
Yeah.
Like, you think that you're coping because you're going and having fun, you're going and doing this and stuff like that. But in reality, you're making it worse, because all you're doing is you're going to the gym for 3 hours. And would you really be in the gym for 3 hours? You know what I mean? Like you just said, 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, you good. Some days you might want to go sit in a sauna and be there for 3 hours or chit chat or whatever. But when you start going and you start making it more and more of a thing, like more redundant, then that's what you're doing, bro. You're just you're bottling those feelings and you don't even know it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea that you're even doing it. Like, I did the same exact thing.
I think most people who abuse drugs or alcohol can honestly say, I think half of them know why they do it. I think the other half, they don't know why, and it's because they're running from something.
Yeah, they're
escaping.
They're either running from like what they're currently dealing with, or what's in their mind, like what they're experiencing in their mind.
And it all comes to having balance, bro. Like it's you got to have things that you do for you, and then you got to work, because we all need money in this world. You know what I'm saying? You got to do things that you got to do for you, so that you can be the best version of yourself for the people that depend around you. Yeah. And the analogy that I like to use, man, is like, imagine this bottle is a teacup, and then underneath this teacup is a saucer. Okay? There's some kind of something right there.
Are we back on this shit again?
Yeah. But the thing about the teacup is that's what I drink from. Like, that's only for me, right? So I'm drinking from this teacup, put it there. And the people that depend on you, they drink from the saucer underneath it. And the only way that works is when you fill your cup over, that it runneth over. You know what I'm saying? The people that depend on you, that drink from your saucer, need you to be the most full and happiest version of yourself. That's what will benefit them the most. That's what they drink from. And so when you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not doing the things that, when balanced, make you happy and make you feel complete, when that cup isn't full, not only are you doing an injustice to yourself, but you're doing an injustice to the people around you.
Now I want to restart. I want to go back to something, because you mentioned it, and it's a hard thing that you're dealing with right now. Yeah, and something that you're experiencing that's hard, and I'm glad that you said it the same exact way, like with your saucer talk, bro.
Don't get lost in the sauce. You don't have too much sauce. Shit, I'll be on that sauce, Dad.
But there's two other things I really want to talk about before we end this, and we could probably talk about this, and we'll probably get deeper in it in the next podcast, John, because I definitely want to bring you back on here. And
bro,
I just like the conversations, bro. It's deep, and it's going to get deeper. I feel like, so like just the thought process on everything, just processing everything that you say, really, and each other say.
The peyote that I took before I came in starting to
That's what it is, bro. That's what it is. So there's something that you didn't mention, and I do want to talk to you about it because I know that me and you've talked about this shit a lot.
Oh yeah,
and you've called me a lot about it, and that's like you said, it's one of the hardest things you've dealt with is that you've been in a relationship for what, the last 5-6 years, and now you're going through. You've had kids, and that changed your life. Changed your life. Like that changed your life for the better. That was a changing point in your life from going from like being in a shithole to like, whoa, wait a minute, now hey, I'm having kids. I want to be a better man. I want to provide for my family. I want to do this and yada yada. And then now you got out of that. You started the business. You've done everything, and you're trying to succeed in life. And then next thing you know, now you're going through a separation.
Life will kick the shit out of you, man. As long as you stay down, you just got to learn to roll with the punches, dude.
And like you said, and you talked about it before, is like making it hard, and not being emotionally available. What do you want to talk about, like in that aspect of everything? Like, what do you want to say to like? Because I know that you mentioned like, hey, not being really emotionally available and things like that. Do you think that was a cause
absolutely,
of it?
Absolutely. And I didn't necessarily know how to be the partner that anyone would deserve to have. And I'll throw this out there, dude. I am not going to get on here, and I know you're not asking me to. I just want this to be clear for anybody that's listening.
No, I know what you're going to say. I do not want you to bash.
No, I'm not. I don't want you. Yeah, I'm not bashing. I'm not airing out any dirty laundry. I'm not. This is just an emotional reflection and rationalization of how I got here.
And we're probably gonna get deep with this, so we may have to. And look, guys, this may just be like the last little conversation we have because it's probably be brought up in another one because it's probably gonna get deep on this one. And and this is where, and I know where he's going with this. And I'm not wanting to. I know who he was with, and I know you may mention names, and I'm not going to mention names because if you know Ben, you know who he was with, and you may say your name. I don't care.
Right.
I have no problem with that, but I want you to know that I don't judge you, and I don't know you like that, and I respect everything that you've done.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to feel like I'm coming at them by any means.
Yeah, me neither.
And so with that question that I'm asking you, I'm not asking you to, bash nobody. I'm just asking, like, I know that we're going to get deep with it. And I know we're going to talk about some things that's going to come out because I know that you still, the way that you feel about her, you know what I'm saying? That you still feel, you know what I mean?
Well,
like what we've talked about, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and
and that may come out. You may not have to talk about it, so you don't have to talk about that. But we'll go back to like what you were going to say.
There are some things, man, that, hindsight is always 20/20. And whenever you can go and when you're trying to get better and when you can realize like, hey, man, I've had a lot of issues and I have really not been a full person for a very long time. Like, dude, I could sit here and tell you I'm 27 for the last 15 years up until about 7 months ago. I had to have some type of vice, whether that was smoking something, whether that was drinking something, whether that was relying on a person, whether that was going to the gym, whether that was doing a new job or having a podcast or starting a new hobby or playing guitar or something. Like, I have, for the last 15 years, right, I have not really been able to do what I'm doing right now. And that is taking a step back and looking at, hey, man, what's going on inside? Why are you doing these things? How do they make you feel? And what are you going to do to stop doing that? And the catalyst for that growth, honestly, was what I'm working through right now. And the fact of the matter is that I was with someone for about 5-6 years, and we were irresponsibly thrown into parenthood, if you know what I'm saying. We were not responsible with certain activities and behaviors that we were choosing to engage in.
Right.
And when I first found out that I was going to be a father, especially what I had just come out of, I mean, I wasn't doing half of the shit that I used to be doing, but I was still like partying and having a good time. I was like, dude, I can't even take care of myself. Like, how am I going to take care of another person? How am I going to take care of this woman? Like, how am I going to provide for not only my child, but how am I going to give the mother of my child the life that she needs? when I can't even, take care of myself. So, being that I was never taught how to address and handle my emotions, I subconsciously tried to push her away. And I was convinced that my child's life would be better if I was not in it. And this was, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
So, and you got to also understand she's a little bit younger than me too. So she never really got to become a whole person either. Like, she had just become somewhat independent and then found out that she was going to be a mom. And I will say that I could never really understand what she was going through and how scared she was and everything that she must have been feeling, because I was freaking out, dude. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to be a good dad. I didn't know if I was even going to be able to provide a life. I didn't know if I was going to be able to support. And so I'm like, bro, you don't do that to your kid. Don't do that to that child. Just push her away, push her away, push her away. And she didn't. Like, she stayed through all that. And I think she did that mainly because she was scared too. What was she going to do,
Yeah.
And then we were hanging out one day, and everything just kind of felt right. Like, everything just kind of felt, I used the term golden, like we were talking. And I had the first inkling of an understanding that, hey, man, like, maybe you're wrong, and maybe you can learn to be better, and maybe this child is going to help you grow. Like, maybe this is maybe this was supposed to happen. Whether you believe in, like, destiny or things like that or whatever, like, maybe, or God, like, maybe God gave you this child so that you could grow up and that you could be, what he needs. So, still not able to internally reflect and grow into a full person, still not at the point that I am now, but knew that I needed to make more money and knew that I had people that were going to depend on me. So, start traveling, start working. I took that job, and the day that I held my son, the day he was born, is the day that I was like, man, like, I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to do something for this person. And not only this person, but the woman that just gave him to me. I'm going to be somebody. And that was really my main drive and motivation to be all that I could be in my professional capacity. But the catch of that is I was just so focused on being a good dad and being a provider that, and when you couple those two main obsessions with the inability to rationalize your emotions and regulate them effectively, both for yourself and then also for your partner who also has some issues, specifically postpartum depression, when you're not ever around that and you're so focused on paying the bills and being a good dad that you really can't even fill up your own cup or recognize what your partner's going through, like, that's inherent and inadvertent emotional neglect, So I was so preoccupied with providing a life, paying the bills, and that job that I held at that time, I was making some decent money. All the bills were paid, had extra money, had extra time, all those things. And so while I'm in it, I'm thinking that I'm doing everything right. And there was no communication on either party to really explain that that's not really the case. And so then it kind of just snowballs from there to the point where, and I'm starting to get resentful to the point that I'm out here busting my ass working a blue-collar job, and it's typical, classic, toxic, masculine shit. You come home, why is it dirty? Why is dinner not ready? I've been busting my ass all day, and you've been sitting here with my kid in this house that I pay for, And really what all that was just jealousy and resentment, because and anger, those three emotions were really the only ones that I was familiar or had the example growing up to really display.
Yeah. So that's what you were like, that's what you were feeling, right?
That was the learned behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know any better. And then I was exhausted, and I was so primarily concerned with providing a life for my kids that by the time I got home, all I wanted to do was take a shower and go to bed because I was waking up at 4 a.m. the next day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, inherent and inadvertent emotional neglect throughout the majority of our relationship. And then, you know, I start doing all these different jobs and trying these new things and everything and getting on with my life and waking up and deciding, you know, I want to be a jacked dad. I want to have a business. I want to be successful. And I wanted all of those things like for the benefit of my family. And I wanted all of those things for her, like so that she could be like, wow, my partner busts his ass. My partner works super hard. My partner is like physically fit. My partner is a good dad. My partner does everything that he can to make this work. Like that's what I wanted for her.
Right.
I wanted to have a successful business. I wanted to have a successful family, and I wanted to be the best father that I could. But in that and in all of my obsessions, I never could identify, one, what was going on with me internally, or two, what she needed in an emotional partner. You know, like, and I remember saying all the time, like, what good is that house on the hill if nobody's in it? It ain't worth shit. It ain't worth shit. And so then, you know, we tried, like, it's tough, man, because like, in a sense, I don't know if she ever actually felt the same way that I grew to feel about her. Honestly, she told me she didn't. And I do understand. Like, I understand how after what you've just been through, that it would be easier to stay with someone who's obviously so motivated to provide a life for you and your children, that even if you don't really feel that way about him, it's okay, because he's doing everything else. I mean, how many women do you know that drive Mercedes that their husbands pay for that are fucking miserable? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's going back to choosing your hard. So, I mean, then I start this tour. Fast forward, I mean, a lot of ups and downs and a lot of excitement, a lot of new jobs, and I get bored, and then she's still there, and she's doing everything that she can, and she's hanging on for dear life, just, dealing with postpartum depression and blah. But I mean, like, I couldn't even recognize that I really wasn't happy myself. I couldn't recognize everywhere that I was failing my own emotions. So how could I even process that I was neglecting my partners? I was a great dad. I'm a great dad, and I strive to be, and I'm a provider. I'm a hustler. But up until about 6 months ago, I couldn't even identify what I had going on internally. So how could I have been there in an emotional sense for my partner?
And be emotionally available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't. And so it wasn't on purpose, but I mean, I emotionally neglected the mother of my children for a long time. And then, all the jobs that I would take, I would get really excited, do really, really well, because I'm a high achiever, man. Like, I mean, I can learn any skill and I can do anything. I mean, if my business tanks, dude, I'll have a job by the end of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can learn and I can do anything because I'm driven, intelligent, and motivated to do those things. And so, I would be so focused on paying the bills and giving our kids the best life that by the time I got home, anything else really went by the wayside. And then I start this business. And that was my biggest obsession, was the fact that, it's a hustle, and only really entrepreneurs are going to be able to understand that. Like, in order to succeed and make something for yourself, the phone don't stop ringing at 5 o'clock, bro. Like, that phone will ring. You have to answer it. That's your livelihood. That, like, you have to put in the effort for that check.
Yeah.
And so most of what romanticism I did have went by the wayside and got absorbed into the business. And I mean, financially, business. Time-wise, business. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really what she needed.
And it just just kept playing like a
Yeah.
toll on like one after the other.
Yeah. But then also, too, she didn't know how to deal with any of her issues either.
Yeah.
And she didn't know, just like I neglected her, like we both neglected each other because we didn't really we both emotionally neglected each other because neither one of us really knew better.
Yeah.
Or knew what to do about it.
And you couldn't like sit there and really talk because of like the whole business side of things. And then, not only with her business side of stuff, I mean, your business side of stuff, she's attending to the kids, and then it's like, oh man.
Oh, dude, and I put myself in her
Yeah.
shoes. She's waking up and she's got 2 kids, and like, great, this is my life. I can either stay here with these 2 kids that drive me crazy, that I love, but I mean, this is my life, or I can let Ben stay here and I can go run Ben's business.
Right.
Like, she didn't ask for any of that, and
that's a hard thing. Like people, and people don't see that side of stuff either, as like being the
provider.
Yeah, being a stay-at-home mom or the provider
or the childcare.
You don't like they don't. A lot of people don't see either or on that thing, and it causes a lot of. I feel like it causes a lot of people to go through the same exact thing that you're going through, or not necessarily that part of it, but it causes a lot of rift and aggression and emotions to unfold, or to not even unfold, to be held, because like this is where you hold on to your emotions, and now you can't really talk to that person and tell them how you're feeling, because like you feel like you probably can't talk to her, and she probably feels like, hey, I can't talk to him because he's not here, and so it's like now you're just playing now you're playing pickleball with each other, bro. Like, I mean, you're hitting the ball back and forth and hoping something happens.
And really, the only thing that will happen is you'll trigger each other.
Yeah,
you'll start arguing,
and you start arguing and fighting more.
Yeah,
and you started seeing more of that.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then the business goes on, and I'm doing all these things. I'm going to these meetings, and I'm meeting all these people, and like I'm going and doing all these things that are for the benefit of our family.
Right.
But anytime you would see me out anywhere, like she was home with my kids. And I remember telling her, like, like we run our business. Like we also had a lack in communication, because I mean, if I would have known what needed to be, or what needed to be scheduled, or if she needed some time to herself, I could have scheduled my way around that.
Yeah.
But that was never made apparent to me.
And that's really where communication plays key.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's me and Dakota's talked about it, and we had the same kind of disputes and stuff like that, because like we were down each other's throats when we lost Emmett. That was a hard thing, because like the communication, if you don't have the communication, bro,
you need trust and communication to have a relationship,
and you have to. And like that communication, like you said, like, yeah, you're out there providing for the family and you're out there working, but now how do you relieve some of her duties? Or how does she release some of your duties? You know what I mean?
And then also, too, man, it took me a long time to understand that individual happiness is not anyone else's responsibility but that individual's.
Yeah.
Like it was, and that might be hard for people to hear, but your happiness is not your spouse's responsibility. It's yours. Just like your spouse's happiness is not really your responsibility. Nope. It's theirs. And so...
And that's where communication comes into play. Because if I don't tell you that I'm feeling like a piece of shit, or like I feel like, hey, I need a break, then you're not going to know that. Like you're not a mind reader, right? And this is where it gets deep, and this is where it's men talk, and this is where the men talk.
And when you yourself don't know how to even communicate that to your partner,
exactly. Like I don't like, and that's where it comes down to men is like. And that's a hard thing for us too. Is like, hey, I don't know how to emotionally tell you, hey, I'm struggling, or hey, I need help, or hey, I need to feel this type of way. And now you're putting that into a relationship, and that's where it's hard. That's where it turns into a shit show.
But whenever you don't really even know what you need as a person, and then you don't know how to even convey that if you did to your partner, like that's not. Like it is destined to crumble.
It's destined. It really is. It's for that, and that's where you guys not saying like you guys or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like you have to have that
Communication.
and that
And a therapist would be able to help you rationalize that. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying therapy is the end all and everything for other couples, but I mean, retrospectively,
it will help.
dude, it would have helped, and I would be saying we
Yeah.
both would be sitting in different places right now.
And because it's because you guys would have figured out a way to talk to each other.
Yeah.
It's because you guys would have figured out for her to either tell you that she was feeling a type of way, or you to sit here and say, hey man, I'm struggling. I feel like crap, but how do I convey that to her?
Yeah.
Because like I don't know how to convey that to Dakota sometimes.
Well,
Like some of the stuff like I go through, and stuff like that, it's like, how do I say that? You know what I mean?
And I will say that when I started touring with this band that I love, man, this is the first gig. Because when my business, dude, I clean bathrooms, dude. Like I wake up at 4 a.m. and I have my hand in a toilet that fucking somebody splattered. You know, I clean shit at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I get paid for it. Like that's my hustle. But like that's not
you the poo cleaner, bro.
That's not my passion.
Right. Yeah.
And I got presented with this opportunity to go out and travel on a tour bus with a really talented group of musicians and see all these things and be around great music. I mean, my son's name is
Hendrix,
after a guitar player. Like, you know, he had a full-size electric guitar before he was born. And music was something that I fell into after school, like after I graduated and got out of public school. But anyway, you know, we have that dynamic going on, and she's dealing with shit that I can't even really recognize, and I can't recognize my own shit for a while. And then I get presented with this opportunity that she herself encouraged me to go try. Like I remember being presented with the opportunity, and the guy asking me, he was like, you know, like, what's your wife going to think of that? I was like, hey man, I don't know. I got to go home and I talk to her. But, you know, her exact words were, it was too cool of an opportunity and I would feel guilty from holding you back from it. So, you know, go try it. Now, I will say that was the first thing that I ever felt in my life that I'm not going to get tired of or hate. You know, it's new, it's music, it's travel, it's great. And I'm genuinely happy, like, whenever I go and do it. And I'm surrounded by the people that genuinely think the world of me and care about me. And I mean, dude, they've done so much for me, both in the terms of like favors, but then also guidance in just 6 months. Like what this touring does for me is something that no other person could do, no other job could do. I mean, there's an expression like music is a drug. And I mean, what's funny is I'm not even playing in it. Like I have like my little 30 seconds of fame every show. You know what I'm saying?
Get there and sing some Ice, baby.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen. No, you know what I'm saying?
Ice is back with a brand new edition.
Something grabs a hold of me tightly. I can't do it, dude. I'm not doing it right now. But, you know, like I have my little shit, but mainly, dude, it's just being around those guys and being around the music and their guidance in my musicianship.
Yeah.
And the travel and the beach and like everything about it really does so much for me. It's gratifying and it makes me happy in the sense that it's fulfilling. And so like I would come home and the only time that she ever actually spoke up and she said, hey man, you know, maybe this isn't working. Like maybe you might need to come home. Like maybe you got to give that up. I was selfish in the sense that I said, like, I'm never giving that up. And then so to her, she finally had the courage
To tell me.
And I finally had what I've been looking for my whole life in the terms of gratification and fulfillment, that I was selfish in the fact that I denied that request. And then it came to, all right, well, we'll work it out. We can find a way. I was so adamant that there was a way that we could work it out without giving that up. And she later in turn agreed with that. But then the arguments just keep getting bigger and bigger. And then the emotions start. I think there was jealousy. I think there was resentment in that. And I'll say this, dude. I have never been unfaithful or dishonest in any way. That was not anything going on in that. It's just that I remember coming home from the road one day and she was just like, you know, like we had an argument and maybe we need to try the co-parenting thing for a minute. And I regretted it when I said it. And then we lived together for another 2 months. And the whole time I'm still going out and touring. And, I'm waiting on her to say something. She's waiting on me to say something. Nobody said anything. And then she made a series of decisions that really, really, really fucked with me, really hurt, broke my heart. And then what's crazy about that is when you love somebody, you're willing to forgive them. And so I was. And, by that point, man, it's not really what she wanted to do. Yeah. And, you can't make somebody love you. And honestly, after spending 5 years with someone who just emotionally neglected you, I would understand how it would be hard to come back to or to give them the benefit of the doubt. Because, I've read relationship literature. I've read self-help literature. I've learned a lot about the partner that I was. And, I know better now. You know what I'm saying? It took this to be like,
oh shit! Oh hey, I got to read.
I did that. I did that. I didn't do this. I could do that. I could do that better.
I could have said this. Or,
Instead of doing this, I should have done this. Or we should have gone to therapy together. There's so many things now that I look back on that, because I am more in touch with my internal emotions and I'm better at regulating them and analyzing them and understanding them better. I'm better at that now in the past 6-7 months than I have been in the last 15 years. But the last 5 of which were involved with someone who needed me to be almost what I am now. You know what I'm saying? And so that's tough.
And you've recently just started really feeling this or learning this about yourself in the last couple of months.
Yeah, exactly.
This hasn't happened this hasn't been a whole year thing. This is or 2 years. This has literally just happened to you in a couple months.
And that's really, some people it takes decades.
Yeah.
From what I've read. So I'm gracious.
This is where it's helped you with the whole therapy, stepping into the therapy side of things and you trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it kind of sucks that now that you've learned this, it's kind of there's never the word too late, but you never know. You know what I mean? And that's a hard thing. Is that, hey, it's oh shit, this is happening now. Now I'm learning this about myself. Now I'm learning how to talk about this or open up and say what I feel.
And it does suck, but at the same time, it doesn't have to. I can take this, and I really like who I'm becoming. Yeah. I really like the version of myself that, unfortunately, just like all of my other mistakes, that this separation has been a catalyst for me to turn into.
Well, and I think the thing that me and you've talked about with this a lot is that the friendship. Mm-hmm. As long as you two maintain the friendship and maintain
I think it's
kosher about everything.
Yeah, I think the best term is just respectful.
Yeah, respectful with each other.
Respectful co-parenting.
And you can be friends. And that is the key. Hopeful, yes. You should be you should be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To that point. Mm-hmm. And I know it's hard for you, and it's going to be hard for her. But I think that aspect. I think you should. Well, you've talked about to still remain friends, because if you're not friends, then it gets a little out of hand. You know what I mean?
Sure. And really, all the kids need to see is that their two birth parents don't hate each other.
Exactly.
Not screaming and arguing. That's really all that they need to see.
Yeah.
So as long as we can get along like that, that's cool. And I will say, dude, I don't think resentment or anger or any negative emotions like that have ever done anybody any good. So I have forgiven. Yeah. I have forgiven myself and her.
And I still think you're working on that. Yeah. I still think you are. I still think that you're. Yeah. Me and you have a lot of conversations. We do. We talk a lot. We do. And we're not going to go into all the details on everything. But there's a lot of stuff that you still think and that you still want to do. And that's why I say that you guys should still, maintain that. And that's hopeful. That's the hopeful portion. But now I kind of really want to pick your brain just a minute because of like what you said, and this is going back to your story on the whole band thing and everything. This is where I kind of really want to pick your brain on. You said you've never really felt like as happy, not as happy, but as at peace than as being on tour right now, like going out on tour and stuff like that. Do you think that that's a part of that whole team camaraderie that like we had in high school? That you
Very
had in high
much
school?
so.
Do you think
Very,
that's what?
very, dude,
I mean,
if you met these guys, dude,
and that's what I'm saying.
Dude,
is
if you
that,
spent 30 minutes on that bus, dude, you'd love. Yeah, no, it's very tight knit. It's a bunch of grown ass men, and we were doing the math, dude. We've probably spent 162 days together in a tin can. Out of 365 days a year, we have spent 170 days together, and nobody's gotten in a fight. Like, there's no drama, there's no bullshit. I mean, like, you know.
So I'm gonna be the antagonist in this story.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be the antagonist on this show, I guess. And I'm gonna ask this question. And do you think like what you're looking for is like, do you think that there's something deeper down inside that you haven't discovered yet?
You think I'm gay, bro?
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm not asking if you're coming out. Do you really think that there is? Do you think that there's something deeper down inside that's causing you to feel the way that you do? Like, and what I mean by that is that you have constantly worked a job, and like you just said, you've tried this job, and you're an overachiever and stuff like that, and you're trying to achieve something else, and you're trying to find something. But deep down inside, because you're in therapy, and I don't know if you've talked about this, because you're going through a lot right now with the separation and all of that good stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to be the antagonist in this story and see, and I just want to pick your brain on. I mean, this ain't even got to be in the fucking podcast. Like, I'm really just trying to pick your fucking brain on this one because I really want to know.
No,
like,
put this shit in the pod. No, dude, this headphone, this microphone is on, dog. What are you talking about?
I just don't want to. I don't want to be that type of person that's like, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole. But I'm really just wondering, like, do you think that there's something deep down inside that you're feeling emotionally that like you're feeling like that's what you're looking for? You know what I'm saying? Because like with your other jobs, you wasn't happy, or you got to that point like, hey, I'm trying to overachieve this, and no, I don't want this. To now, you have found that being in a tour and traveling and being with this group of people, not whatever, but just being with a group of guys or whatever and hanging out. Do you think there's something deeper down inside, like childhood wise, that growing up wise, or that you're just searching for, and that's what's truly making you happy? You see what I'm saying?
I think
you get what I'm asking, because I've confused myself, but the way I've asked it, I don't know.
I think that there's some validity to that question, and I mean, if I'm being honest, bro, the musicianship, the camaraderie, and all of the different places. Like, I was in Wisconsin earlier this year. I've seen Wisconsin. I've seen the Western Carolina mountains. I've seen the oceans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a pretty big year booked next year, and then the guidance from, because I'm the youngest member on this bus. And I'm 27 years old. The drummer's 30. And then everybody else, I think the guitar player's 33. The piano player's 72. The singer and the bass player, I don't really know their age. So, I mean, I don't really know, but I'm the youngest.
Right.
And so I'm surrounded by a bunch of really like-minded, more experienced people that have all been through some pretty traumatic shit themselves.
Yeah.
That can also help my musicianship. That can also offer life advice,
right.
Parenting advice, like,
but like with what you've been through, I think it's
a combination of all of it.
But like with what you've been through, and like you said this earlier, this is why I'm going to be the antagonist on this, and this is why I'm asking this question, is that you said that you're always, that you figured this out during therapy, I'm pretty sure is what you said. You can correct me if I'm wrong. That you figured out that you need to lean on something, right? That you either need to lean on the gym or lean on somebody or be with someone or something like that. Do you think that's what you're needing? Do you think that that's what do you think that's what you're searching for?
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like, no. That's what you were looking for?
I know what you're asking.
Right.
No, because that's what that's what I've done my whole life.
Right.
Whether I've leaned on substances or hobbies or whatever.
Right, yeah. Like, that's what I'm talking about, yes.
No. Now I'm leaning on myself.
Right.
I'm getting used to being okay with myself. And a part of that is the happiness and the positive feelings and gratifications. Because also I get paid for all this shit. It's not like
it's not like you're out there just doing it for fun.
No, like
I mean, you're doing it for fun, but you're getting paid to do it too.
And I have always been told that that's really what you should.
Like you got to find something that you love to get paid for.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I get that.
Found it.
And you know, I wanted to be the antagonist on this and ask this question.
Cool.
Like ask some of these hard questions because like there may be somebody out there that is searching for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they didn't.
And it was a risk, and I mean, it came with a price.
It has come with a price.
It came with a price.
Right.
You know, so I mean.
And it's not that. You know, I wasn't trying to be an asshole.
No, you cool.
I was just asking. Yeah. I'm really just sitting there trying to figure.
It's your show, bro. Swing your dick around. Fucking take it out, bro.
Man, I'm gonna have to cut some of this shit out of here.
We definitely got a cut where we tagged my business, dog. I've been saying all kinds of shit. I can't.
We're gonna have to cut where like you're talking about coming out, bro.
Coming out or coming on, daddy. Yo, you know what I'm saying, dog? Yo, dude, I've had a great time. This has been really cool.
It has, bro, and I think that back to like to finish this up, guys. I think that with like all of your with like you going on tour and you finding like what you've been happy with, I think that now that you've kind of figured out and kind of discovered like or trying to discover who you are and trying to figure out how to deal with this emotion. I think therapy truly helped you. I think therapy has
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah,
I would recommend it to people who think that they're not fucked up.
Right.
But
I mean, because like if you don't think you're fucked up, you're fucked up.
You're pretty fucked, bro.
Well, like I'm gonna go ahead and let you know. I thought for the longest time, like I have went through this for years, bro. Like since like my mom's been handicapped since she was 6, right? Yeah. So like I had to grow up at 6, and then like now I'm 27, so God, what 21 years, right? So I've been having to deal with a lot of this crap, and it's like, bro, I thought I was just fucking normal.
Yeah, well, see, like, I thought I was fucking crazy. Well, so that's insane.
Well, like I thought, I knew that there was some stuff there, obviously, like the thoughts that I was having, the feelings that I was having and stuff. But I thought, like, bro,
everybody does.
Yeah, like that's what I thought. I thought, oh, hey, this is normal. Like I didn't go around thinking, oh, hi, I'm crazy. I'm thinking, bro, this guy over here next to me is going through the same shit I'm going through. It may not be as worse, but I know he's pretty normal. So I feel like I'm pretty normal.
I hate that word.
But that is one of those things. Is like I kind of wish. Me and Dakota talked about this too, is that she asked me the same question is, do I wish, like, if I could change it or do I wish I would have went back and done therapy? Yes, bro. Well, I feel like it would have helped.
Why don't you want to go?
Well, it's not that I don't want to go now.
Why don't you go next week?
It's not that I don't want to go. Like, listen, this is really not what it
is, bro. This is your show. I'm putting you in the hot seat now.
Put me in the hot seat, bro. It's not that.
If you think that it would be cool and you've never done it and you just want to go try it, I know you still have this and you can have this too. Why don't you make an appointment next week,
bro? Because I'm gonna tell you, the lady that's coming on is a licensed therapist, and I think she's gonna be my therapy, bro. I think she's gonna be my therapy.
She's a good one.
She is. I think she's a very good one. We're not gonna say names. I mean, you know it is. I mean,
yeah, she's cool.
But I think she's gonna come on, and I think it's not that I don't want therapy now, but I think that I have not figured my shit out. Not so don't fucking
right. Because going back to what we said earlier, bro, the key to understanding everything is to realize you know nothing. Bro.
Yeah, because I don't know nothing, right? Yeah. So I don't. But I'm not saying that I don't need therapy. What I'm saying is like I think I have found my therapy as of right now.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And I don't know if like I want to put this out there for the world, right? And I don't think she's going to allow me to come into a therapy session and be like, "Damn, these people are fucked up." You know what I mean?
There are legal ramifications of that, and there are rules and things that you cannot talk about.
HIPAA, bro, 100% HIPAA. That's a HIPAA violation.
You got a fucking pet hippo?
HIPAA.
I want a hippopotamus for Christmas.
But see, I don't think that I would love to go in there and like set up a couple cameras, document like what we're talking about, but I know that it won't happen.
Listen to what I'm telling you, bro.
Right.
Forget the cameras, forget the microphones. You as a person, Dakota, is there any reluctance for you as a person?
No, there's not. There's not any reluctance on it.
You just want to be able to share it.
It's the fact that I want. Like, if I don't share this, if I don't share this now, I think it's going to put me in a worse place.
Why?
It's because, like, I've had this conversation about it, bro, and I'm going to probably get emotional about it. I'm going to tell myself that I'm going to get emotional about it so I don't fucking cry, okay, guys? But I think it's because I truly want to help somebody.
Okay.
Right? Like, I think the reason that I started this is because I know that I've been through some shit. Mm-hmm. I know that I know nothing about like what I've been through. I know nothing about how I dealt with it.
Right.
But I think that's what 97% of the world's going through. You know, there's I'm gonna say there's 3% out there that probably fucking knows how to deal with it, right? That they go to therapy, right? The 3% of men that go to therapy. But in my mind, I feel like there's people out there that are not going to go to therapy, no matter if I open up and talk about this and tell them they should, or that you're going to therapy, or that no matter how much they hear that they should go to therapy, that they're going to.
Probably. Well, and
I think that the more that I put out there with like raw conversations in your side of stuff and getting deep in like my side of stuff, and like me and my wife going through our conversations that we go through, I think the more that we go through that is going to help that masculine man, or that man who has hid his feelings since he has been a child. I think that is going to help that person that can go on and watch YouTube or listen to a podcast. I think that's going to help that man listen to the stories and hear that there's people out there that are just like him.
I believe that, and
I
agree
think
with that.
and I think that the moment that I go and step into a therapy office, I think it'll make me worse. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that nobody should.
Right.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to therapy. That's not what I'm saying by any means. I'm saying that if you need to go to a therapist, go see a therapist. Like you should. I'm saying that you really should. If I could change it, I would have. But I'm saying as of right now, since I've started this podcast, I think this is helping me tremendously.
Okay.
And it's because I get to hear your stories. I get to hear your story. I get to hear what my wife's thinking. I get to open up and talk about it. My wife understands. Like if I say something on here, I'm not targeting her, but I'm talking about it, right? Because this is what it is. It's a real show.
Yeah.
Right. This is 100% real.
Cool.
And I think that is one of those things is that I don't want to step into a therapy office and hide my feelings from anybody else, right?
I get what you're saying.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I got two things to say.
Okay, let's hear it.
One of them is that, dude, I don't want anybody out there to think that therapy is the end all and be all solution to your problems. It's just happening to work for me. And again, just because you could go to the therapy, you could go to see your therapist and not be real with yourself. And you may as well be wiping your ass with that money.
But I think it goes back to like where you said you have to find that right therapist.
You do.
You have to.
You
you may go to a therapist the first time, and that person may not be your therapist.
No, I got a good friend. Who, she tried going to therapy, and her professional literally fell asleep on her while she was in her office.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I've seen it firsthand, like with my son, like dealing with both of my sons. Like one of them was in speech therapy. Mm-hmm. His first therapist was not the best fit for him. And it's not that she wasn't a great therapist. She's an awesome therapist. She's an awesome person.
Right.
Just wasn't the best fit for him.
And there are directories and everything and recommendations that you can find. And I want everyone out there to understand that if you choose to go, it's just like the gym. It's just like anything else in life. You are only going to get out of it what you are willing to put into it and what you are willing to be honest with yourself about.
And if you're going to go in there and hide from your therapist, if you're going to go in there and hide,
if you're going to go in there and lie or hide, don't go at all.
Yeah, like I wouldn't. That's like me talking to Ben about this. Like if I'm not going to open up and talk to him about what I'm feeling or being trying to be an antagonist in some of the questions I ask, then why would I even do it?
The only other that's the first thing I want to say, and then the second thing that I want to say is that I hear you and I understand you when you say, I hear what you're saying when you say that you think that if you were to go in there, it would make you worse. I hear that. All I would encourage you to do is at some point for yourself, because this is helping other people, and you want to hear what I have to say. You want to hear about what your guests have to say. You want to help other people. Going back to that saucer thing is at some point, one day, whenever you're ready for it, I would encourage you just to go and have maybe one session and see if it did help.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you got a podcast, bro, you got an outlet, you can come back and be like, bro, Ben Nichols was fucking wrong. I went to therapy. That shit did not work at all. That's awesome. Okay. Or fuck that shit. Or imagine you go one day,
and it helps. Yeah.
And it helps, and you can understand, and you can understand things not only about your emotions but yourself and why you've done things and why you enjoy doing this and the help and hope that you want to be for other people. everything that you don't know, you might be able to come to a bit of closure on. And one day that might be fine. Right now, I hear you and I respect you when you say that you're not trying to do that right now. And that does not make you less of a man or more of a man.
And I think that's a big thing. I think that is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Is like trying to figure out, hey, when do I want to do that? You know what I mean? Because I know eventually, I've talked to Dakota about it, the same thing. Is like, I know eventually it's going to come. I know eventually I'm going to hear something that's going to trigger it. Like trigger me.
It took me 6 years, bro.
Yeah. I think there's going to be something that's going to trigger me. Or trigger something that's going to happen, and it's going to be like, oh shit, that's something rough, right? And I'm gonna need it, or I'm gonna want to go to it. But like I said, I think that's where I'm at. Is like, hey, if I can be 100% real about how I'm feeling, and it's only gonna get worse, like, or worse on my end, is because I'm probably gonna be more open about everything, is because like the other day, dude, like I couldn't function. Like the other day, like I could not really function. Like I cried all day.
Yeah. And
it wasn't that I was upset, like I was tore up, but it's because of like I went onto my YouTube channel and I went on there and I was updating my thumbnails. And my wife sent me a picture of my son. And when I was talking like on my episode or whatever, I think it's like 6 or something. It's like my firstborn or something like that. I think it's like my firstborn. And she sent me a picture of Emmett, and it tore me up all day. Like I'm telling you, like when I was not in a good place.
And that's okay. You understand that, right? That emotion is valid.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think like, yes, I think I do need the therapy. Don't get me wrong. I think I do, but I think it's one of those things is like if I don't talk about it, or if I just don't come on here and say, hey, look, this is how I felt. What if someone else is going through the same thing and they don't?
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is for me, right? This is 100%. This is why I started. This was for me.
Yeah.
And if I get out of it, somebody else gets help. Because, like, there's somebody else that's lost a kid out there, right?
Yeah.
There's someone else that's dealing with that same exact loss. Like, they've lost their firstborn son or their firstborn daughter. And it's like, oh, shit, like, you're physically and emotionally going through this. And she just sent me a picture. And, like, I look at him and I've seen him in pictures, but I don't know what it was, bro. Like, I don't know. I guess, like, when I uploaded it, it was just like, damn. And then I'm seeing my oldest, I'm seeing my youngest, and I'm with them, and I'm just like emotionally like tore up all day. Like I'm crying literally all day. Like I was so emotional, and I looked at Dakota, and I told her I was like, I'm not good. Like I'm not okay. I was like, okay. And like I recorded the fucking video, bro, like on my camera, and like I wasn't joking, but like I was saying it so happy because like I'm used to hiding my feelings, and like I wasn't, dude. Like I wasn't okay. Like hey, look, dude, I was like. It's been a rough day. It's been a really rough day, and I'm not fucking lying about it. But it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna live.
It is. And we are about to get fucking diesel jacked, daddy. We are getting in that gym, dude. Like hardcore. I've probably had like 6,000 calories today.
That's a good thing. Yeah. But I think that's where I'm at with it, and I think that's where I want to be at, is just to be able to help somebody, right?
Right.
And like I feel like if I don't open up, and if I don't tell somebody, or I don't post it or do something so that way somebody else sees it. I don't know, dude.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And all I would encourage you to do is just bring that to the gym with you. Yeah.
I'm going to bring it to the gym. I'm going to get fucking...
You want to hit 405?
Big Daddy Jack, baby.
You want to be repping 405 shrugs?
No, I do not.
What about bench?
Maybe, yeah. We'll talk about bench. Deadlift, already do that. That's okay.
Oh, you already do that?
I mean, just because you're at 405 doesn't mean I'm at 405, baby.
Okay, what do you mean
I'm ripping 500, baby.
Oh, dude, hand me that Alani right now. Let's fucking go. That's where you click it. We're going to the gym right now. Leave all this shit,
bro. We're talking a shit ton of stuff. I'm setting all this stuff up. I'm hitting end to this podcast. It has been a great conversation, Ben. And look, guys, I really hate that I didn't post the first one. Honestly, it probably get fucking posted now, because now somebody's probably gonna call me out on my bullshit and say that I'm not being real about it.
Or maybe you could like an idea that I had. Stitch them together, like stitch like
cuts and stuff,
bits and pieces. Yeah,
because I mean, there's some conversations that we had in that was different,
that are really good.
But I think that this one was. I think this is 10 times better. I think I was able to give my full attention to Ben like he deserved, and I think he was able to actually sit down and calm down and not feel as rushed either, because like we both kind of felt like we were rushed because we shot it in the afternoon.
Well, and I didn't have anywhere to be. I put the kids to bed and they're safe and everything's cool. So I mean, and I think that
I think we had a good conversation today. And look, guys, I may post that conversation because I know somebody's probably going to call me out on it and say, hey, look, you're not being real. But I am. I promise I am. I just, I don't know what it is. I'm just a picky person, I guess. But
Okay.
Ben, it has been a great conversation with you. It's always been fun. It's always going to be real. Guys, I mean, you've heard it. You've heard it from Ben. You've heard it from me. Look, dude, if you're not okay, or if you have something that's going on in your heart like a grief or trauma, or if you have questions for either me or Ben, dude, reach out. Reach out to us. You can reach out to my email. It's mentalkpod@gmail.com. You got my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube, all of that good stuff. So message me if you need to. I've also put out a discussion forum. So that way, if you do have anything and you want to remain anonymously, you don't have to put anything in the email. You don't have to put anything, your name or nothing. Just fill it out. It's all anonymous. So if you have something you don't want me to even be able to remotely trace back to you guys, just send it to me. Use a fake email or whatever you want to, right? But guys, it has been a great conversation with Ben. Like I said, we're going to end this conversation. Obviously, you're going to see all my handles pop up and all that good stuff, and you're probably going to see Ben squatting like 315 because we know that's all he can handle. But hey,
front squat, front squat.
You ain't know what front squat is, bro.
Bro, I did them today, bro. Don't be, dude.
I'm dissing on this joker.
Don't take one of the only things I have left. Please, for the love of God.
I'm ending him, bro.
Yo, how good are these microphones? Can they hear if I fart?
I don't know. Try it and see.
I'm not. Please. That's where you click it, dog.
No, try it and see.
No, that's the end of it.
I want to see if you can do it. Hold on. Do it. Bro, yeah. That's some stink too, bro.
If your farts don't reek, your protein intake is weak. Mic drop. I'm out, bitch. I'm done.
All right, guys. Hey, y'all have a good night. Hey, it was good talking to you guys. It's going to be a long video, long podcast, but hey, guys, I hope you listen to it and enjoy everything. Like I said, reach out to us if you have any questions, or if you're going through something that I don't know nothing about. I mean, reach out to my man Ben. Like you've heard it, dude. He's going through some stuff as well, and I mean, he's a very insightful type of person. So I think that he could help you as well. And if you don't want to reach out to any of us, man, go to therapy. Reach out to a therapist, and like I said, if you don't find that first therapist that suits best with you, look at that second therapist, right? Look at that third therapist if it doesn't work for you, okay? And, man, guys, I hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to end it here, and I guess I'm going to get to editing this video so you can watch it this Saturday. All right. Have a good night.
Will you follow me? Will you follow me into the darkness now? And will you hold my hand so I'll never have to be alone again? Will you follow me? Will you follow me into the dark now? And will you hold my hand so I'll never have